Greetings, beautiful light collective. Today is 18 November 2020. We'll be doing a personal power reading. This is from Deja's deck. I will be reading from the little white book, or the little purple book actually, that comes with this deck. So first off, I asked the question, what personal power does the beautiful light collective need to hone in on? And the card that came out was I am sacred, number 11. The second question I asked was, what personal power is the beautiful light collective struggling with? Initially, I thought I am wild and free was the only card, and it turned out I am safe was behind it. So it looks like the collective is struggling with feeling safe in being wild and free. I then asked, what personal power did the collective struggle with in a past life? And number 12, I am divinely guided, came out. Last, I asked, what personal power is the beautiful light collective mastering? And I am curious came out. When we turn to number 11, in the little book, we read, self-care is how you take your power back, by Deja. And the author, Deja, writes, if you don't yet know the importance of self-care, one day you will. It's usually when we lack it and need it most that it makes itself known to us as something that is missing. I learned the hard way about the importance of self-care when I reached my boiling point of physical and emotional neglect. Self-care is a choice and a personal power because it helps us recharge and feel balanced. It takes conscious practice. Deja writes, we women often tend to put everyone else before us, which can lead to burnout or dissatisfaction with life. This card urges you to ask yourself if you're happy and fulfilled in your daily routine. The first step is to set the intention. The next is to take actions towards it. No more waiting, no more excuses. Give yourself permission to nurture your mind, body, and soul so you can show up in the world radiating. So she has journal prompts. The first journal prompt is, are you making time for yourself daily? What do you wish you had more time for? Schedule more of it. Schedule more time for it, Do you need more fun in your life? More rest? More alone time? Find a way to get it. How are you putting yourself first? How do you honor yourself? Do you have a sacred space in your home? If not, create one. Find a place where you feel safe. So I know that Deja writes, women, I'm going to modify that and say female energy, since we as humans, human fleshly vessels, embody both masculine and feminine energies. So I'm going to trade anytime she writes woman, I'm going to trade that for female energy and understand that female energy can apply to people who are born male and who are born female. It does not. Who are born in a female vessel, who are born in a male vessel, it does not depict, somebody's actual sex as they were born. So I'm going to say female energy, and if she happens to bring up males, I will say male energy. Moving on to card 36, I am safe. Deja writes, we all deserve to be and feel safe. It is common for us to get caught up in situations that are difficult to get ourselves out of. Forgive yourself if you ever go against your better judgment. Do not let your past circumstances make you feel guarded and unable to be vulnerable forever. You deserve a fresh start. You deserve to be able to put your protective shield down. One of my favorite things to do for protection is to burn some sage and visualize myself being completely protected by a giant gold bubble. I then ask for protection from Archangel Michael and imagine whomever I need protection from leaving me alone. I also love to burn sage around my home or that person's space and clearing their energy and visualizing them going away. Do what you need to do in order to feel safe, even if that means taking drastic action. Better safe than sorry. So her journal prompts for I am safe are: what evidence do you have that you are protected and loved? Are you too afraid to open up? What do you need to do to feel safer? How do you know when you're in a safe place? What does that place look like? Feel like? Now for I am wild and free, 43, card number 43. Deja quotes Paul Walker. My philosophy is, if you can't have fun, there's no sense in doing it. Deja writes, being wild and free may come easy to us when we are kids, but usually over time, we lose that ability. Or maybe it just gets tamed with years of being told what to do and how to do it, what is right and what is wrong. Growing up doesn't mean we should stop having fun. Having fun and being free should never stop. Allow yourself to embody the wild and free nature of Aquarius. Go singing in the rain. Paint with your hands. Learn to stand on your head. Reawaken your youth. For you are forever young. The journal prompts. How are you allowing yourself to be wild and free? When was the last time you were spontaneous? What makes you feel free? What are some wild things you've wanted to do? Moving on to the past life. Card number 12. I am divinely guided. Deja quotes Ralph Waldo Emerson. It is not the destination, it is the journey. It is okay to feel lost and confused. It is a natural part of life. We don't all have it figured out 100% of the time. This is usually the best time to walk away and focus on something else. Allowing yourself to be in this moment. When you distance yourself from the problem, the solution often appears. Quiet your mind or meditate. Have patience and trust that you will find your way. Sometimes we need to get lost in order to find where we are headed. You also need to know where you are in order to figure out where you need to go. It sometimes takes several detours before you get back on course. Have faith that even during times of confusion and perceived wrong turns, you are still on your path and you will soon find your way. Sometimes we may think that everything we try ends up in failure, but oftentimes we cannot get to our destinations without getting lost. It's through seeing what doesn't work we find out what does. Sometimes getting lost or failing is exactly what we need to get what we need to get to where we want to go. So pay attention and enjoy the journey. The journal prompts. Where is it that you seek to go? Be specific. How can you enjoy the journey more? Picture yourself in the future reaching your destination. Describe it. What would you say to your current self from the future? Write down any advice that you have on how you got there. Last, what is the beautiful light collective mastering? Pulled card number 10. I am curious. Deja quotes Wayne Dyer. When you judge another, you do not define them, you define yourself. Deja writes, judging situations and people is a natural part of life. It can save us from threatening situations. But have you ever noticed how often we judge and how often we judge other people and ourselves? How often do you make assumptions and judgments about others without knowing all the facts? Sometimes we get defensive because of our perceived notions. The personal power that you can use and unleash today is curiosity. Choose to be curious and compassionate without judging or labeling. Everything has a reason and a story behind it. It's also easy for us to feel offended by something someone says or does. Today, choose to see what the story is behind the actions. What caused someone to say or do something that clearly had an effect on you? Choose not to react, judge, or label things. Just observe them. What we think is bad may turn out to be wonderful. What we think is good can take a turn for the worst. Things just are. Learn to detach from events and circumstances and not label them. Simply observe what occurs and ask yourself, I wonder what this means. Then just wait and see. The journal prompts. When was the last time you judged someone? Who can you be more compassionate with? Who do you think you've been misjudging? How can you practice being curious instead of judgmental? Okay, and there we will end. Thank you for joining me.